SCP-016, Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-016 is to remain within the confines of a 5 by 5 by 5 meter room at all times. Contained at a temperature not to exceed 0 degrees Celsius. SCP-016 itself is to remain in the Petri dish in the containment cube at all times unless directed otherwise by Level 4 or 05 personnel. Full documentation or experimentation with SCP-016 must be submitted before and after samples and duplicates of SCP-016 may be taken. Failure to follow these procedures will result in termination or reassignment as Class D personnel. Only authorized personnel may be permitted to obtain samples and experiment with SCP-016 under BCL5 containment conditions. If an outbreak does occur, despite following the aforementioned procedures, directive-based personnel are to implement a Code Sigma lockdown and containment plan. Infected personnel are to be terminated on site by security forces wearing standard mission-oriented protective posture. MOP. Anti-biological and anti-chemical equipment should be infected, not be contained after 48 hours. The on-site nuclear devices is to be detonated. Remaining personnel are not to be evacuated under any circumstances. SCP-016 has been shown to survive for up to 6 hours on hard surfaces and up to several minutes in air. High intensity ultraviolet lights and high concentrations of orthopathohalide solution has been demonstrated to be effective in disinfecting non-organic surfaces. Description: SCP-016 is a blood-borne pathogen recovered from a mine worker in Redacted who injured himself while working on a deep coal seam. Said wound became infected with coal dust, and the mine possibly infecting the worker with dormant spores. Over the next several days, SCP-016 proceeded to infect the remaining employees of the mining company, as well as the CDC crisis team dispatched to deal with the epidemic. Foundation personnel then take over the investigation and terminated all affected personnel. Patient 0 was brought into captivity, and the mine shaft was collapsed by an explosive device. SCP-016 has an incubation period ranging from 24 hours to 2 years. Depending on the presence and number of other human hosts in the area, first symptoms resemble the common cold and include itchy eyes, runny nose, coughing, and bodily aches. Phase 2 begins 48 hours and consists of a controlled form of hemorrhagic fever as the organism causes a small amount of blood to become aspired in the lungs, creating an aerosol effect. During Phase 3, the host crashes and bleeds out, bleeding profusely from every bodily orifice, including the nose, tear ducts, anus, skin pores, mouth, urethra, and in case of females, vagina. Blood pressure skyrockets during the final stage. Hosts have been observed projectile vomiting blood to a distance of over 5 meters. Should the host survive the near total exsanguination, the pathogen will become dormant once more, return to incubation phase. The distinguishing SCP-016 from other strains of hemorrhagic fever, such as Ebola and Marburg, is its unusual response to high stress. Should the subject undergo a high-stress situation, such as a life-threatening crisis, the organism will change its survival tactic from rapid reproduction to the rewriting of the host DNA and simulation of rapid cell division. Major psychological changes occur within the first 24 hours, and the complete bodily reconstruction occurs within 2 weeks' time. Most hosts do not survive the process due to the heavy demands made on the body. An interesting side effect of the transformation is an increased aggressive urge. It is believed that this may be an attempt to maximize the spread of the virus in a manner similar to rabies. On another note, subjects who undergo bodily transformations no longer appear to exhibit SCP-016 hemorrhagic properties. However, subjects infected by transformed host will still undergo the normal SCP-016 infection process. Addendum Experiment Log of SCP-016 Transformative Properties. Subject D-016-1. D-Class personnel infected by SCP-016. Upon first showing symptoms, subjects' quarters were slowly flooded with water over a 24-hour period. SCP-016 mutated into a teratomorphic state, transforming subjects' lungs into gills. Subjects survived for 2 or more weeks as SCP-016 transformed its limbs into fins, caused its eyes to atrophy, and enhanced its sense of hearing into a cetacine-type echolocation ability. Subject was terminated by draining all the water from its corridors, causing it to asphyxiate. Body was subsequently cremated without autopsy. Subject D-016-2. D-class personnel infected by SCP-016. Upon first showing symptoms, subject's quarters were slowly flooded with water over a 24-hour period. The SCP-016 mutated into a teratomorphic state, causing subject to undergo rapid muscular growth and increased bone growth in knuckles. Subject then attempted to escape from the confinements by punching through the reinforced steel door. Subject was not successful and died by drowning. Note, same situation, two different responses. Interesting. Doctor redacted. Subject D-016-3. D-class personnel infected by SCP-016. Subject was previously a chemical engineer who poisoned his wife upon discovering her adultery. Upon first showing symptoms, subject quarters were slowly flooded with water over a 24-hour period. SCP-016 mutated into a teratomorphic state, causing subject to grow an unusual organ in its chest, consisting of a chamber of two separate tubes. Organ continued to take in water and swell in size until Foundation personnel, realizing what SCP-016 may be attempting, terminated the subject at gunshot. Organ was found to contain several gas sacs with acetylene gas and oxygen. Subject D-016-4. D-class personnel infected by SCP-016. Subject was told to concentrate on forming wings. No stress was applied. SCP-016 did not mutate into teratomorphic state. Subject died of exsanguination during Phase 3. Subject D-016-5. Class D personnel infected by SCP-016. Subject was told to concentrate on forming wings and placed in an acrylic box suspended 305 meters above a mine shaft. A timer was placed outside the box, which subject was told to indicate the time of the release. SCP-016 mutated into a teratomorphic state, causing the subject to grow a tentacle-like organ in its left wrist similar to a spider's spinnerets. Subject extended said organ through the box's air holes and extruded a strong silk-like substance which was then used to secure the box to the cable. Subject was terminated when the countdown reached 0 and the bomb detonated. Footnotes. Due to their similarities as fatal carcinogens, that simulate the production of excess organs, a possible link to SCP-1801 is under investigation.